Hey everybody, so today we are going to start our perspective project. So we've already started practicing and we learned about how to do perspective. So today we're going to start our project. So what you're going to need for this project is you are going to need a square piece of paper, you're going to need a pencil, a ruler, those are over on our cabinet on the counter, and you're going to want one of our chunky erasers. Ooh, I don't know what's going in and out like that. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we need to put a vanishing point in the middle of our paper. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but that's okay. So I'm going to put a nice light vanishing point. It's not going to be permanent, so don't go crazy dark with it. The next thing we are going to do using a ruler is we are going to draw out 15 different boxes. Yes, 15. And I know you guys are groaning and sighing, but we are going to do, and they don't have to necessarily be squares, but I do expect that you are using a ruler so you get those nice straight lines. Make sure that you have those 90-degree angles. We're not going to have rhombuses and trapezoids and diamond shapes. So like I said, they don't necessarily have to be just squares. They could be rectangles too. And you can, have them turned and tipped. They don't have to go straight up and down. Okay. Alright, so let me just make sure I'm connecting these. And you can also have them going off the page too. That's kind of fun as well. Okay, so I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. So you can have little guys, and you want to really fill up your entire paper, and that is why I chose and had you guys do 15 boxes. And it really shouldn't take that long. As you can see, I'm speeding through pretty quickly. We'll do another angled one. Just want to make sure that those lines are parallel. We talked a lot about that. Making sure that they are running in the same direction, kind of like train tracks. So I like doing the cropped ones because they are, oh, gotta make sure it's parallel. Don't know if that's exactly a 90-degree angle. I feel like that feels a little weird. We're gonna change that really quick just to make sure that it's truly a 90-degree angle. Okay, that feels better. So this is a perfect example of why you need to draw light. All right. If I drew that too hard, I wouldn't be able to erase that, and you would still see the lines. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, let's do some little ones over here maybe. Like I said, it's going to move pretty quickly. As long as you're not chatting too much. Oops, it does move rather quickly. And you can have more than 15. 15 is just the minimum though. See how many I got. I don't think it's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. So we're almost there. Some little ones close to the vanishing point. Sure it's parallel. I think that looks a little off. This is a profession here, everybody. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Beautiful. Okay, so now what we are going to do, oh, that sunlight is coming through. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to now mark out the corners that we need to draw back to our our vanishing point. So what I like to do is I like to mark out the closest corners. So sometimes there's 2 corners when they're like right next to one another or directly above one another. There's 2, and sometimes like this little guy here, there's 3. So it's always the closest corners. Most of the time, I would say you will have 3 corners, most of the time. But in some cases, when they're equally distant, like this little guy, it's only 2. So I'm even marking these edges here as corners. And this one might be. So a good rule is if it lines up, so like this one would barely have a sliver, I'm almost gonna, like, it's gonna run right along the side of that. If it was out more a little bit, like from here, and let's pretend your dot was here, then I would say yes, this is a corner, but this is literally running along the side of it, so I'm not gonna count this one as a corner. Okay. Check this one. Yep, same thing. This one is lining exactly up where if I drew a line, it would just go straight back. So I'm not going to even bother with that one. Okay, so I think I'm pretty good. Great, so now that when I have this done, oh, let's check this corner. Yep, same thing, not worth it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly, very lightly, I'm going to start with the closest squares and boxes first. All right, so I'm going to connect those points lightly. And the reason I start with the closest ones is because the other boxes are probably going to intersect and hit the other boxes, and then that way we know when to stop. So always start with the center and work your way out. Okay. Make sure you're using a ruler at all times. No one should be freehanding this. Still haven't had any ones that intersect yet. This guy will. Okay, so here's a perfect example. So I'm going to line this up with the vanishing point in this box, and once I hit that other box, I'm going to stop. All right, so I stopped right there. Once I hit the box, I know it looks like it kind of continues on, but that's this box's line. All right, same thing over here. Stop once I hit a box. All right, we're not drawing through the boxes. Again, that's why we're working from the inside out. Okay. This corner might need a dot. It does. Okay, so this one looked like, I felt like it needed one. It feels weird over here, like there should have been a side. So I double checked. I lined up my vanishing point here, and I checked with this corner. And look, there is a gap right here. So I am going to take that and create that. See? Even I get it wrong every once in a while. Okay. And we're just going to continue to do this. I highly doubt that everyone's going to get to this point by the end of the class. If you do, great. This is as far as we are going to get. We're not going to start to Sharpie and add color just yet because I want to double check your lines and make sure that everything looks good before we make it permanent with the Sharpie marker. Okay, again, make sure once you hit a box, you stop. Oops, that line got a little wonky. Make sure your lines are nice and straight. Ooh, make sure your lines are nice and straight. Let's try that one more time. Third time's the charm. There we go. This one kind of feels a little weird to me too. I think we checked that one. Yeah, I'm going to say no on that. Okay, and it should start to look like this, almost like we're looking down on a bunch of buildings, or we have a bunch of beams going really far back into space. And what I'm doing is I'm actually just kind of sliding the ruler. I'm kind of holding my hand here and just rotating it. That way you don't have to pick it up every once in a while. But I do always double check to make sure that it's still lined up. Sometimes it gets off and it shifts. Okay, we are almost there. Look how fast this is going. See, not so bad. There. Stop once I hit that line. Well, that one comes really nice and far down. Okay. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. All right. And that's the beginning of our project. Okay? All right, so that's what I expect you guys to do. Make sure you have a pencil. Make sure you have an eraser. And make sure you're using a ruler. No one should be freehanding these. I need perfectly straight lines. And please, 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 please draw lightly. Because even Miss Salatino made mistakes. But I was able to correct them because I drew lightly. If you draw too hard, it's going to stain the paper and you're going to be stuck with those errors. So please, please draw lightly. Okay? Have a great day, guys. Get to work.